And I have the VPN on so I can't get tracked. Oh.
2 teenage girls were killed in a hit and run in New Jersey.
70 miles per hour. That's how fast cops say a 17-year-old was driving when he mowed down 2 teen girls riding on an e-bike.
Police say the driver fled the scene and ditched the SUV around the corner. The driver, identified by CBS News as 17-year-old Vincent Battiloro,
who neighbors say had been stalking one of the girls in person and online for months.
Maria sees the pizza guy come. Better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his death.
She made complaints and nothing was done. It's just a tragedy. It's just a tragedy.
When a black Jeep tore down Burnside Avenue that autumn afternoon, no one could have imagined it was carrying months of obsession. And that before the crash, there were warnings, messages, videos, stalking for months. It's a heartbreaking story about 2 bright teenagers on the cusp of adulthood and an act of violence that has shaken a quiet New Jersey town. On a late September afternoon in Cranford, an SUV slammed into 2 girls riding an e-bike. And what at first looked like a horrific accident now appears, according to families and prosecutors, to have been something far darker, a deliberate act, possibly premeditated for months. This is the story of Maria Neotis and Isabella Solis, 17-year-old best friends whose lives were cut short, and of the young man now accused of murdering them. Cranford, New Jersey, often called the Venice of New Jersey for the Rahway River that winds through its downtown, is a picture-perfect commuter town about 20 miles from Manhattan. With its Victorian homes and a bustling but small-scale business district of cafes, bakeries, and mom-and-pop shops, Cranford has long prided itself on a strong sense of community. High school sports, games fill the bleachers. Local theater productions draw family crowds, and neighbors know one another by name. It is the kind of place where you'd expect kids to ride bikes without fear, where the loudest sound on a weekday afternoon is usually the train, whistle, or laughter from the park. Right next door sits Garwood, a compact 1 square mile borough that shares schools, parks, and even community events with Cranford. Residents commute on the same train line, shop at the same grocery stores, and cross into each other's neighborhoods without thinking. These 2 towns are intertwined by geography and culture, so when tragedy strikes in one, the shockwaves ripple into the other. And on Monday, September 29th, 2025, the weather was mild. Burnside Avenue in Cranford was quiet, lined with trees and homes. At about 5:30 p.m., 2 Cranford High School seniors, Maria Neotis and Isabella Solis, rode together on an electric bike, doing what countless teenagers do after school. And suddenly, a 2021 black Jeep Compass barreled down the street at nearly 3 times the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. It plowed into the girls. Witnesses later said it looked intentional. The driver didn't stop. Instead, he sped off, leaving behind a scene the neighbors would call repulsive and devastating. There are reports that the bike was dragged for over a block before the driver jumped out, ditched the car, and then ran to his home a few streets away. Both girls were rushed to the hospital. Both girls were pronounced dead. The driver accused of ending their lives is another 17-year-old, Vincent Battiloro. Yes, the same last name as the police chief. And he lived in Garwood. Court records and family statements allege this was no accident. They claim Battiloro had stalked Maria for months, sitting in his car, a black Jeep Compass, outside of her house, harassing her to the point that she sought help multiple times. One friend asked, quote, "How can you sit in front of someone's house for 3 months?" He was out there in front of her house in the same car, his car for 3 months. I saw it. Tell me, how is he able to do that? End quote. And another friend, Tammy Carbajal, said bluntly, quote, "She made complaints and nothing was done. It is just a tragedy." Some reports say that Battiloro and Maria actually dated in the past and that things ended badly. He allegedly sent threatening messages to a boy Maria was talking to after they dated, and one text showed a friend telling him, quote, "The school already told you to stop harassing her," end quote. His behavior allegedly escalated to the point of threatening to release nude photos of Maria, something he reportedly admitted to having done to other girls in the past. And according to family members, Maria had even filed for a restraining order. Some reports say that Battiloro's father is a New Jersey police officer and his uncle is confirmed to be a police chief. Some locals believe these ties may have shielded him from earlier consequences. And on the day of the crash, police say Battiloro was speeding 70 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. And afterward, he allegedly fled, racking up citations for reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident, careless driving, speeding, driving without a license, registration, or insurance card. More than a dozen violations in total, alongside 2 first-degree murder charges. Battiloro's online presence gives a disturbing window into his state of mind. Before he was charged with intentionally hitting and killing Maria and Isabella, he spent hours live streaming to more than 40,000 followers. And in these rambling broadcasts, he played video games, ranted about sports and politics, and occasionally veered into darker topics. He told his viewers that he had been falsely accused of some things which had gotten him suspended from school. So let's take a listen.
Mention in a second, but I want to also mention something else that, has been on my mind. I took a hiatus from streaming, and this has to do with my personal life. And this involves school. I got a bunch of allegations being handed to me of crazy shit, stuff I will deny for 50 years to the end of my life. Ridiculous allegations that this girl is making against me and shit over because I got into her relationship business, and now the school, and now I'm going to tell you all this. Cops got involved and the school got involved in this shit, and somehow they're believing this crap. So they suspended me basically indefinitely until they figured, which makes no sense, because they should have waited until they were, if they're really believing this is true, criminal charges filed, which there haven't been, because this shit is all bogus. So that's happened. I'm waiting to see, when I get this appointment for they want to test me for fucking a savory assessment and sexual which I don't even understand it. I have the digital copy. They sent me a digital copy. They gave me this digital copy. I showed you all that hard copy on, which I think was very unprofessional, the way that guy wrote that. I think that was very unprofessional how he wrote it. It looked like shit. A 4-year-old can write better than that doctor can. It went over this stuff of, how I'm being accused of, sending questionable chats and stuff like that. And now, what?
They twist words.
Yeah, they're twisting my words, basically. They're the ones making these accusations and stuff like that. So police got involved, stuff like that. I'm waiting to see what the investigation is on that. But until then, I can't go back to school, which basically means, because it's indefinite, I can stay up as late as I want while I'm streaming, which is kind of sad. But at the same time, it doesn't really affect, I can stream as long as I want. Now I can make content as much as I want.
All right, now I got 2 announcements.
But hold on, I'll be finished in a second. So, what was I going to say? Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. That is why I haven't been streaming. It's taken a deep effect on my mental health, but because of the support of my mom and dad, who are both defending these bogus allegations and shit, which I think is sick, twisted out, and outlandish, they're defending me. They wanted to search my phone. The school wanted to search my phone and shit, but my dad told him that my dad refused. Get a warrant, and then we could talk from there. So, I gotta wait and see, when I can get this appointment and shit. Until then, again, this is taking effect, but with the support of my parents, I feel comfortable enough, I feel healed enough where I can go back to streaming. And I'm also taking the MLB break because I feel like with the stress that I'm having, and, if we lose games and shit like that, the rage moments are not gonna help. And to be fairly honest, again, we were going to take a break anyway because Evan also says that the content has been very overwhelming. And we were supposed to have Crim on for the stream, but he says that his PS5 is broken. and it's getting fixed right now. I looked and it said somebody was playing on his account. He claims that, you know, one of the guys fixing his console was playing on it to test it, but I don't know. So we're going to be playing this.
People familiar with the teens say he was referring to the nude images of Maria and other students. Some people who listened to other live streams have said that he clearly had an obsession with Maria and her family. In a September 23rd live stream, less than a week before the fatal crash, he spoke of vengeance, and showed off an iPhone that he said he was converting into a burner phone to harass the Neotis family. He even ordered 2 pepperoni pizzas to their home, cash on delivery, as a form of retaliation. On his live, he said, quote, "Have fun with your pizza, you dipshit," end quote, before returning to his game. Here's some of that stream where he orders the pizza. Take a listen.
Have you tried our new marble cookie brownie? It's an irresistibly warm and dewy blend.
I order one of them too.
Domino's?
Hi, can I place an order for delivery, please?
Yeah, what's the address?
Can I get 2 large pepperoni pizzas?
What else?
That's it.
No drinks?
No drinks.
Okay, that's a card.
It'll be cash at the door.
35, half hour.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye. I fucking did it. And I have the VPN on, so I can't get tracked. Oh.
I mean, you should go to their house and see the people pull up.
Should I do it? Here's the thing, though. I did that the last time, but the mother saw me pull up in the car, and I got tracked, and the police, you know, did what they did. Should I do? I don't think I should do it. All right. So I'm gonna put my phone on silent. All right. Because, yeah, I don't want this shit. I don't want to hear this shit, and I don't want to hear when the police come to my door. Have fun with your pizza, you dipshit. Have fun with your pizza, fool.
We're going to head right on to it. And I actually want to tell you guys something about this whole thing. Obviously, you know, with this whole situation that I'm going through, I'm not facing charges and shit, because again, all of this stuff that has been proven already has been a lie. I talked to my school about what has happened, and believe it or not, they're still making me go for a savory assessment. I have absolutely no clue why. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. I've shown no sexual deviancy and no violence. And we've tried to appeal the decision, and apparently that decision can't be, which doesn't make sense, because, oh, we can appeal the school expulsion, but we can't appeal a savory assessment. That I don't find to be making any sense. We hold the card. No, you don't. You can authorize a decision making on whether I do this shit or not. So they will not, although my expulsion has been rescinded, I'm still not basically welcome back until I do it. And my dad is arguing with the school about it. He's going to have a meeting with the superintendent about it to voice his frustrations. I don't know what'll happen next. But for right now, it's not looking good. And there may come a point where I might have to go to a different school. So I'm going to invite you, Evan. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to invite you to this lobby. But it's sad. It's honestly sad that I'm being found innocent, and I'm basically being blackballed like Trevor Bauer, can't enter a school. It's ridiculous.
I wonder what fool is going to get you. I didn't order these fucking pizzas. I didn't order shit. Well, I'll tell you what. Your daughter should have said sorry for accusing me of doing a heinous crime. Okay? Should have said sorry.
Right.
And we get Pedro to pitch.
I think we should
Watch the cops show up to my door
P5
after I'm finished playing this ranked game. Well, the funny thing is, again, okay, so we got P5 Randy up.
P5 Randy.
What was I doing? I gotta move this camera. So the funny thing is, my number's non-traceable. It's a burner phone, so they're not gonna find where I live. Thank God. And they never knew where I lived. And you know what's funny? The mother, the girl was like, "Oh, he lives in Westfield." Think again. And I don't care. Oh, my cousin works for Westfield. My uncle is her boss. Okay? And I get to sit here, play ranks for you. And I feel like I'm going to have a blast.
And then, of course, there are others talking about the situation at school. Later in the same stream, Battiloro linked his anger at Maria to a broader grievance, claiming she had mocked conservative influencer Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok. He said, quote, "Whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his death. You stupid ass clown. Just remember that." End quote. This blend of harassment and political resentment, coupled with his comments about being cleared by police, his fixation on vengeance, and his admiration for controversial figures like Andrew Tate, is now being scrutinized as a possible motive. In one older video, Battiloro even joked about female video game characters being, quote, held hostage and by Andrew Tate, which he later claimed was a joke. Whether or not politics played a role, the portrait emerging is that of a teenager nursing grudges and acting out in increasingly alarming ways. He also apparently liked to play the game Grand Theft Auto and run over people in the game, similar to how he ended up running over Maria and Isabella. So after the crash occurred, Vincent hopped on his live stream yet again and had the audacity to reference the death of Maria and Isabella while offering his, quote, condolences. It's honestly chilling to hear how calm he sounds. So take a listen to this.
Now that I got that figured out, I'm going to finally explain this whole situation, but I need to explain some things that have happened over the past few days. And I'm not going to talk much about it. In a neighboring town, unfortunately, 2 girls were killed in a hit-and-run crash. Now, there has been a lot of misinformation going on over the internet. But I will say this. I wish my sincerest condolences to those 2 girls lost in that tragic accident. Okay? It is an absolute unfortunate situation, and there's more to the story that you're not getting. But when the time comes, I will explain it in greater detail. I'm not authorized to talk about the whole thing. I'm not going to give you any more information, but I will say this, okay? Making threats against my family will not be tolerated. If you don't see me streaming for a little bit, you'll understand why. This will be in the hands of Jesus. Everything will be okay. I will get this sorted out. I've been bullied, ridiculed, and stuff over false allegations, okay? Over this whole thing about things that have happened in the past. There's more to this story. It'll come out in the future, okay? I'm going to let you all know this right now. I don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon regarding streaming. If I do end up taking a hiatus, I'm telling you guys.
A quick word from our sponsor. You know how summer nights just wreck sleep? Between late sunsets, family trips, and total chaos, our bedtime routines go out the window. But now that it's back to school season, I've got a secret weapon for getting back on track. Beam Dream. You guys know this. It's my secret weapon. It has been now for a couple of years. Dream is my back to school sleep hack. Every night I mix up a warm cup of Dream powder, and within minutes, I feel myself resetting. It's become my Sunday night ritual to prep for busy weeks ahead. And honestly, let's be real, it's my every night ritual. It's how I recover from summer chaos, and Dr. John is glad that I have my dream. Here's why I love it. It's only 15 calories, no added sugar, gluten-free, vegan, keto-friendly, dairy-free, sweetened with monk fruit, which is natural. It uses magnesium and other clinically shown ingredients to help you sleep. And you can even choose between melatonin or melatonin-free versions. And the best part is it tastes good. It's like a cup of hot chocolate right before bed, that way to wind down. Dream is the simplest way to transition back into structured mornings and actually wake up rested. So if you need a nightly reset, trust me, Beam Dream is it. Head to shopbeam.com/truecrime. That's shopbeam.com truecrime. And then use code truecrime for up to 35% off your order. Let me know how it tastes and how it goes. Since Battiloro is a juvenile, the Union County Prosecutor's Office has released limited information. Officials are still weighing whether to try him as an adult, a decision that could mean 30 years to life in prison if convicted of first-degree murder. In New Jersey, juveniles aged 15 or older can be tried as adults if a prosecutor files a waiver motion and the court finds probable cause for serious offenses like homicide, carjacking, or aggravated sexual assault. If Battiloro's case remains in juvenile court, the penalties would be far lighter, with a maximum term measured in years rather than decades. The decision is likely to become a flashpoint for the victims' families, who have called the situation, quote, murder in the first degree, and demanded full accountability. Back at Cranford High School, the loss of Maria and Isabella has been devastating. Counselors have been brought in. Students have organized vigils, leaving flowers, notes, and photos at their lockers. Teachers describe classrooms falling silent at the mention of their names. The district has offered crisis resources and therapy for grieving classmates. In hallways, friends recount Maria's makeup tutorials, Isabella's rehearsals for the spring musical, and their plans for graduation. What should have been a year of prom dresses and college applications has turned into a season of funerals and court hearings. One student told reporters, quote, we just want justice and we want to feel safe again. Battiloro's online persona also opens up a larger cultural conversation. His streams mixed harmless sports chatter with references to Andrew Tate and other controversial figures, and he seemed fixated on glorifying misogyny and vengeance. He spoke casually of using VPNs and burner phones, tools once associated with criminal enterprises but now easily available to teens. And he framed his grievances, suspension from school, allegations of misconduct, and the language of persecution that he picked up online. This case sits at the intersection of teenage impulsivity, online radicalization, and real-world violence. When a 17-year-old with a driver's license, or in this case without one, and a social media megaphone harbors grudges for months, the consequences can be catastrophic. Clearly, the families of Maria and Isabella are united in their grief and their outrage. And in a joint statement, they called Battiloro a, quote, coward of a man who had been plotting this attack against Maria for months, and in doing so, also killed Isabella. They are demanding justice and urging anyone with footage of the SUV before or after the crash to contact investigators. More than $135,000 has been raised to cover funeral expenses, vigils, memorials, and a growing shrine of candles and flowers now mark the spot where the girls lost their lives. Maria Neotis was born in Rhodes, Greece, beautiful island in Greece, and raised in New Jersey. She was a twin and a senior at Cranford High School. Friends and family say she had a passion for beauty, music, and fashion, with dreams of one day opening her own cosmetology business. Her mother, Fowley, called her my sunshine and my best friend, the kind of girl who literally lit up a room just by walking into it.
My name is Fula. I'm not standing here today just as a mother, but as Maria's mother. And that is the greatest title I will ever hold. Maria was 17 years old, a high school senior, full of dreams, full of life, and full of love. She wasn't just my daughter. She was my best friend, my sunshine. The kind of girl who could walk into a room and light it up just by being herself.
Maria practiced makeup for hours, watched tutorials, and made her friends look and feel beautiful. At Maria's wake at St. Demetrios Greek Orthodox Church, her mother said, quote, "She loved deeply, she gave generously, and dreamed boldly." Maria's life may have been short, her mother added, but it was powerful. She leaves behind her grieving twin brother, George, and a family who now wakes up each morning hoping this whole situation has been a nightmare. And it has been an absolute living nightmare. Isabella Solis, also 17, was a lifelong Cranford resident with a love of animals, theater, and singing. Family members describe her as kind, generous, and gentle, a girl with the voice of an angel, as they would say. She belonged to a choir, an a cappella group, and the local drama club. She was preparing to graduate high school and begin her next chapter. Her parents and brother CJ paint the picture of a young woman brimming with potential and kindness, the kind of teenager who was everyone's friend. Westfield Police Chief Christopher Battiloro, who lives in the same neighborhood, wrote that he had watched Isabella grow up and considered her a neighbor. He said, quote, "Our neighborhood feels violated and we are grieving." Isabella's wake was scheduled at Dooley Funeral Home in Cranford with burial at Fairview Cemetery on Monday, the same resting place as Maria. Maria's mother has tried to focus on her daughter's light rather than the darkness and her death. She was her sunshine, after all. She said, quote, "To Maria, my sweet girl, I will miss you every single day for the rest of my life. You wanted to make the world more beautiful, and you did just by being in it," end quote.
Maria had a passion for all things beautiful. Music, makeup, hair, fashion, but it wasn't just about appearances. Maria believed in making people feel beautiful. When she talked about her dream of becoming a makeup artist, it wasn't just about glam. It was about helping people see the beauty in themselves that maybe they had forgotten.
This tragedy has also rattled central Jersey towns known for their quiet streets and close-knit neighborhoods. Neighbors who witnessed the aftermath described the situation as sickening. A local named Barbara Bryson said, "Nothing in the world is more horrible than what I saw yesterday." And another, Amanda, said, quote, "Hearing that someone was hit by a car was devastating, but as the whole story unwound, it was so sickening. How could you leave?" End quote. So Westfield Police Chief Christopher Battiloro, who I mentioned, who assisted at the crash scene, confirmed that Vincent is a relative, but stressed he is not his son nor part of his immediate family. In a public statement, he wrote, quote, "Like many of you, I am shocked, stunned, and so overwhelmingly distressed beyond belief by the horrific loss of two young ladies which occurred in the township of Cranford on Monday night. Not only did my police officers and I urgently respond to this incident to aid our law enforcement partners in Cranford, but I reside in the very neighborhood where it occurred. While social media has made it known that the accused is related to me, he is not my son and not a member of my immediate family. I want to be clear, as loud and as firm as possible, that in no way do my wife, children, or I condone, defend, or excuse the actions that caused this terrible and tragic loss of life. I've been forced to remain silent so as to allow the Union County Prosecutor's Office and the Cranford Police Department time to conduct a thorough and complete investigation without any outside interference. Now that criminal charges have been filed and an arrest has been so rightly made, I now offer you this statement. I do unequivocally condemn the actions of the accused, and like you, I demand that he face the consequences of his alleged actions in a court of law. As a law enforcement officer, I maintain full faith and confidence in our criminal justice system and that it will ensure he is held fully accountable." End quote. For now, Vincent Battiloro faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and the long list of traffic offenses while the Union County Prosecutor's Office continues to investigate. If tried as an adult, Battiloro could face decades in prison. If the case remains in juvenile court, the penalties will be far lighter. Regardless, the deaths of Maria and Isabella are not just a local story. They speak to a larger, troubling reality. How quickly everyday life can turn into tragedy, and how systems sometimes fail to protect young people from harassment before it escalates. Growing attention has also turned toward New Jersey's legal gray areas, specifically how the state's laws handle stalking and harassment among minors. Under current New Jersey law, restraining orders are generally available only to adults who have a legally recognized relationship with the person they're seeking protection from. That means when both the victim and the alleged offender are under 18, the system becomes far more complicated and, as many advocates now argue, deeply flawed. The Victims Assistance and Survivor Protection Act, VASPA, enacted in 2024, was designed to expand protections for victims of stalking, sexual violence, and cyber harassment. However, it contains a significant limitation. While minors can apply for VASPA protective order through a parent or guardian, the law does not apply when the accused is also a minor. In those situations, the case shifts to the state's juvenile justice system, where police must file a formal delinquency complaint, but only if they find probable cause. As criminal defense attorney and former Morris County prosecutor Alyssa D. Haskup explained, that threshold can be especially difficult to meet in cases involving digital threats, subtle harassment, or emotional manipulation. She said, quote, "It can leave young victims without meaningful protection." And it can. And this gap in the law has caused widespread confusion for families and law enforcement. Although parents can request protective orders on behalf of their children, that option only exists when the alleged harasser is an adult, leaving teens like Maria and her classmates without a straightforward path to safety when their stalker is another student. The result is a troubling legal void, one that has become impossible to ignore following this case. It also brings up the issues of stalking and obsession, which Dr. John will soon delve into with us. The tragedy has since prompted a wave of public outcry and calls for reform. A Change.org petition launched by 2 Cranford teenagers urges lawmakers to lower the legal age for obtaining a restraining order to 15, arguing that current laws fail to protect young people from dangerous peers. The petition reads, quote, "We were shocked and saddened by the loss of our peers and stunned to discover that in our state, the law does not adequately protect us or our friends from stalkers," end quote. It's already received more than 3,400 signatures, which reflects the growing sense of urgency in the community. Advocates also emphasize that awareness, not just reform, is essential. Many families and even some police departments remain unfamiliar with VASPA and its procedures. Experts agree that the issue extends far beyond one town or one tragedy. Stalking, they say, is a crime rooted in power and control. And when that control is challenged, it can quickly escalate to violence. Julie Miner, executive director of the Center for Hope and Safety in Rochelle Park, put it bluntly. She said, quote, "Nearly 1 in 5 high school girls has experienced stalking in the past year. The ultimate act of power is when they kill their victim," end quote. Loved ones say Maria had reported problems with Battiloro several times, yet here we are with 2 lives lost. This case also highlights the role of social media and perception. A suspect streaming video games, and speaking of mental health, just hours after an alleged double murder. A community left reeling from his words. There's also a sobering conversation about youth, driving, and responsibility in an age when cars and online personas can feel like extensions of teenage identity. The consequences of reckless behavior and allegedly of targeted violence can be catastrophic. 2 promising futures ended on a suburban street because someone with a car, a grudge, and no license turned his vehicle into a weapon. Finally, this tragedy underscores the resilience and unity of a community. Candlelight vigils, public statements, and fundraising shows a town trying to heal and to demand justice at the same time. As Westfield's police chief wrote, "I too pray for these families. I too demand full accountability and justice. We will honor the lives and legacies of these 2 young ladies, Isabella and Maria, together, and we will survive this horrible tragedy together," end quote. Maria was a Greek-American teen who dreamed of making others feel beautiful, and Isabella, a theater kid with the voice of an angel. 2 best friends riding an e-bike on a late September afternoon full of hope and plans for the future. Their community is left with heartbreak, with questions, and with a demand for change. Hopefully, their story will push all of us to ask, how do we keep our children safe? How do we prevent harassment before it turns into tragedy? And how do we ensure that accountability justice, and healing can coexist in a community broken by loss. May justice be served.